welcome to this live session on AWS Generative AI Certification AIF-C01 Essentials. So in this session, we'll demystify your preparation journey. So I'll take you through how should your preparation should look like when you're preparing for this AWS Generative AI certification. So, folks, like before we proceed ahead with today's agenda and the session, I just want to let you know the session is getting recorded, and all the source codes, the PowerPoint presentation, or anything, the links, the additional link that I'll be sharing with you in the session will also be made available under this Manifold AI Learning Workshop. So this is just you can just get the access for free, not just today's workshop, but also our previous workshops that we have conducted so far. So it's a single place where you can get all our workshops for free and you'll have a lifetime access to the sessions recording. Now, the way to access it, go to manifoldailearning.in, click on courses and search for workshop. That is Manifold AI Learning Workshop. If you click on it and say access the workshops now for free, you can actually get the access to these workshop materials. I'm sharing the link over here in the chat window for the folks who have joined with us today. So give me 1 second, guys. Since we've got the learners joining in from multiple platforms, I'm just ensuring that everyone is having the access to this link. Okay, I've shared the link for this Manifold AI Learning Workshop. Now, apart from that, if you're someone who is trying to get started in this rapidly evolving field of generative AI, because we have observed that most of the learners are struggling, especially in this topic of generative AI, and that's impacting their current job role as well. So in order to help the learners, we have created a free course on generative AI at Manifold AI Learning. The first live session recording is already available. You can access it. And the next, like the upcoming videos of this generative AI course will also be uploaded for free in our portal. Now, once you complete this course, you'll also be eligible to receive the certificate of completion as well. I've shared this link as well. It's a free course that we have got at Manifold AI Learning. Go ahead and sign up on the same and ensure that you progress in your learning journey. We want everyone to understand what is generative AI and understand the basics around it. All right. So with that, so let's start with our today's agenda. So let's understand more about our AWS certification and what exactly is the expectation from the certification. So here, currently, the beta registration is going to start from 13th of August 2024. That's the latest news that we have got from AWS. And if you take a look into the category, this is very important. The category of this certification is the foundation level category, which means like I'll say the difficulty level, I'll say easy to intermediate, considering the experiences that we had from our past certification. And coming to the cost, so the price is 75 US dollars, and the examination will be tested with the examination format of 85 questions. Okay, so some of the other information that is set by this AWS is, so it expects that the intended candidate can be anyone who is familiar with, but not necessarily building the solutions using AI ML technologies on AWS. That means any role, which means analyst, IT support, marketing professional, product or product manager, or even the IT manager, sales professional, anyone can appear for this certification given it's a foundation level certificate. Okay, now just like any other AWS certification, you've got the option of testing from Pearson VUE Testing Center or through online proctored examination. Okay, so this is one of the key things that you have to remember. Now, from this, you have got a clear perspective as what exactly is this expectation from this examination and what would be the difficulty level in the examination. Now, along with that, the AWS have also specified or they have also shared some of the important details about the examination. So it expects that you need to know about the fundamental concepts around generative AI, machine learning, deep learning, its definition, design consideration, the prompt engineering, model training, responsible AI. So these are all the few topics that are expected. Now, here they've also released a free learning plan structure as well. So this is the page where they have described the free learning structure. Now, if you take a look into this learning plan structure, it basically takes us through how does a learner's journey should look like. So if anyone is appearing for the certification, he or she is expected to have this knowledge. First and foremost, the knowledge of generative AI. So they have described it with the help of the generative AI for executives. Then there's also the other concepts such as fundamentals of machine learning and artificial intelligence. Now, this revolves around the basics of machine learning, the steps that we have got in machine learning, the basic definitions around it, the idea of artificial intelligence, some of the key concepts like some of the other concepts such as what are these large language models, neural network. So those are all the foundation level knowledge that is expected. Then some general idea about use cases of artificial intelligence and its application, the exploring of the various applications of AI and what kind of tasks that it would involve. And since it's based on AWS, so it is recommended that we learn the products of AWS, especially in this generative AI and machine learning, which means the high level understanding of SageMaker and high level understanding of Amazon Bedrock and Amazon Q business. Now, it's not just about understanding the concept, it's also expected from the learners to also have the additional idea as how does the solutions can be built and how does the solutions can be deployed. So this is also one of the expectation of this AWS certification. And when we are working with the large language model, here it's also important that you understand some of the basic concepts such as the essentials of prompt engineering. That means what exactly is this prompt engineering, how it actually works, and finally, the idea around the trustworthy AI and how we can evaluate these AI, the generative AI application, which we also call it as the large language model, and the concept of security, compliance, and governance for the AI solution. So, as you can clearly see here, when we talk about the preparation aspect of this AWS Certified AI Practitioner, so this basically involves that the learner has a complete overall understanding of various aspects of this generative AI. Okay, so that is the overall idea as how you would be actually working here, team. Okay, so that's the overall idea in which your preparation should look like. So now that you have a high level preparation, so let's deep dive and let me just provide you some of the insights and let me give you some of the basic idea so that it will be helpful for you in your preparation learning journey. Okay, now I see a question right here. Is the session is getting recorded? Can I access the recording? Uh, Okay, that's correct, Tarun. So you can access the session's recording in the Manifold AI Learning page. So you can go to Manifold AI Learning, click on courses, and under this, you can search for Manifold AI Learning Workshop. And this is where you can access the current session recording as well as the previous session's recording. All right, guys. So any other questions, team, before I move ahead and take you through some of the basic concepts that you need to know? So if you have got any questions from the introduction that I gave you on the examination, please let me know. So if you're clear so far, please confirm by typing in as all good. Okay, thank you, Darshan. Thank you, Ramesh. Okay, thank you, Lata. Thank you, Sandeep. Excellent. Okay, thank you so much, team, for your confirmation. Now, let's take a look into the next concept about, let's take a look into the basic. Okay, like when I say basic, let's see about, let's learn some of the basic concepts which is relevant for your examination preparation. See, we'll take up this example. Okay, we'll take up this learning plan schedule, and I'll choose the one which is in line with the expectation of your certification preparation. So first of all, let's start by understanding what exactly is this generative AI. So let's try to understand more about it. Okay, for the for the actually for explanation, I'll bring up the slide that I've already created. Okay, so let's start by understanding about what exactly is this generative AI. Now, when we say generative AI is a branch of AI or an artificial intelligence. Here, this focuses on creation of the new content from the existing training data. Now, that's what a generative AI is all about. Here, one of the key things that you need to remember is it doesn't just analyze the existing data, it generates the original output based on the pattern it has learned during the training. Now, that's the beauty of this generative AI. Now, the question is, how does this generative AI is going to work? Well, one of the key steps that would happen whenever we are working with this generative AI is called as pre-training. Now, pre-training is a step where we will train our models on a massive data set. Now, during this process of training, we are going to recognize the patterns and the structures that are present in this given data set, which is a massive data set. Now, once it has learned the pattern, using the learned pattern, they will generate the new content that resemble the training data, but it's not an identical one. So that's the second step of this generative AI working. First, it's pre-training, followed by the generation. That obviously, based on the output that we would get, we would go ahead and improve the model, like which means the third step is the improvement, where we will take up an iterative approach, where we'll have some kind of feedback loop to help us understand what is the overall quality of this generated content. So that is the overall idea as how this generative AI model is going to work. Now, to give you an example, let's say the chat gpt, it's one of the famous generative AI application that we have got. So even it has followed the same steps. So it has been pre-trained on a massive data set, and because of that, whenever we provide any prompt, it is able to generate the output. Okay, it is able to generate the output based on the pattern or the input that we specified. Now, when we think about the generative AI models, I can classify these generative AI models into the GANs, which is known as the Generative Adversarial Network, variational autoencoders, which is also known as VAEs, and transformer models and the diffusion models. So these are the various types of generative AI models. In all these cases, we are having the component of generation of the output. Hence, we call it as one of the type of this generative AI model. Now, if we consider the generative adversarial network, now this is a special kind of network where we have two neural networks which is going to compete against each other. This is going to compete one against each other, and there will be a judgment of the quality. Like I'll tell you a very simple example as how it works. So imagine there are two people that is involved. So one is a police and the other one is a thief. So thief always wants to deceive the police. So and police always wants to identify the thief. So it always works in an opposite manner, where, like when I say opposite manner, so the goals of the thief and the police is always the opposite, isn't it? So they always work in an opposite manner, and they will eventually, because of the competitor, that means because of the opposition, so they end up in improving themselves. And that's the same idea behind this generative adversarial network. Here, we have a component that's called as generator inside this generative adversarial network, where this is going to generate the content, and other, which is going to judge its quality. So once the training is completed, we can use the generator part to generate the new output. And we also have another component that's called as the variational autoencoders. Now, in the case of this variational autoencoders, we are going to learn the underlying probability distribution of the data in order to generate the new sample. Then we have a transformer model. This is one of the most widely used approach, especially when we are dealing with the generative AI model. So this is used for text generation. And we have diffusion model. So here in the case of this diffusion model, we will iteratively add the noise to the data, and we learn to reverse the process to generate the high quality images. So these are the various types of this generative AI models. Now that you have learned about the types of generative AI model, it's also important that you look into the application of such generative AI model. So one of the main application is in art and design. Then we also have it in writing and create content creation, music composition, healthcare, and code generation. So these are the common applications of this generative AI model. Now, as I mentioned, one of the most popular way of working with the generative models is called as a transformer-based model. So here inside this transformer, like when I say transformer, it's based on one of the research paper that was published in the year of 2018, I think. So it's called as the attention is all you need. So if I want to give you the idea as how does this transformer would look like, okay, I'll just show you the technical diagram. You don't have to know in depth for the examination because that's not the expectation, but I just want to share some of the key details about it so that it is easier for you to make sense about what is happening over there. Okay, so when we think about the transformer, okay, so the technical diagram of this transformer would look something like this. So this is the technical diagram of this transformer model architecture. So I'll highlight the important elements. That is what you need to remember for your examination preparation. So the transformer model architecture overall has got two components. One is encoder component and the other one is a decoder component. Now the encoder component is made up of series of layers, okay, series of encoder layers, and each encoder component has got multi-head attention, some add a normalization layer, followed by the feed forward neural network layer. And whenever the data is being sent to the encoder, we have the word embeddings model, which will generate the vector representation of the given text. And this vector represented text is passed to the positional encoding, where we are going to inject the position data. So we will inject the position data using this positional encoder. Now, why this is important? Well, for our human language, the order of the words is very important. So dog eats meat and meat eats dog will be two different sentences, and it's quite opposite. I mean, it's like one makes sense and the other one will not make sense, isn't it? So the order of data or order of these two cons is very important. And since it is important for us as a human being, whenever we are processing the text data, that's the reason we inject the position so that the neural network will also remember where exactly the word is present in a given input sentence. So that's the importance of this positional encoding. So for the given data, I'm going to get the vector representation, and then we will inject the positional information with the help of the positional encoding. Now, this positionally encoded data is sent to this multi-head attention. Now, in this multi-head attention step, what happens is here, this is going to learn the relationship that it has got with the other words in my given sequence. Like I'll give you a very common example, which I normally uh, provide in our interaction. One thing that I'll say it as, let's say the dog is very tired and it is moving slowly. Okay, let's say this is how my sentence would look like. Now, if I ask you as what is this word it is going to refer to? So for a human, it is easier to say that, okay, this word it is actually referring to the word dog, but it is very difficult to know these kind of relationship for the computer. And that's where the multi-head attention would come into picture. And not only that, it will also help the model to look into the relationship between not just one word, but also multiple words in the sentence. What is it that I'm conveying? I'm saying it as dog is very tired. That means at this point, when it is processing the word it has to remember that the dog is tired and it is actually a dog. Okay, so these are the key things that it has to remember whenever it is processing the current word. So to learn the relationship from my current word to the other words in my given sequence, that is where the That is where this multi-head attention would come into picture. And the output from this multi-head attention is being sent to this add or normalized layer. Now, this is one of the common activity that we would use it in the deep learning to reduce the overfit. Now, this is also followed by the feed forward neural network that we have got. So that's the overall idea about this encoder part of this neural network. On the other hand, we have something called as decoder. Now, this decoder also has got the same kind of structure. You'll have a multi-head attention, positional encoding, and feed-forward neural network. And it also has got some multi-head attention. Okay, this multi-head attention will be actually helpful for us to get the processed input from the encoder and generate the output. Okay, so that's the overall idea about this encoder-decoder architecture. Okay, so here the a key thing that you have to remember is, okay, when we are dealing with this transformer model architecture, it is made up of the encoder and the decoder part. Both of them will work together to give us the like to process the sequence in an effective manner. So that's the main intuition that you need to remember when we talk about this transformer model architecture. Now, how is it relevant for the large language model? Well, based on this transformer model architecture, we see most of the large language models that we have got these days would work and behave. Like, to give you an example, so there's a variant of this transformer model where we have series of encoders, and we'll call it as BERT. Now these series of encoders are stacked one next to each other, and we call that architecture as BERT. And we also have a series of decoders which are stacked one next to each other, and this is generally used in generation tasks, that is GPT models. So the various kinds of model that we see these days so are basically based out of this transformer model architecture. So we will use these model architecture, perform the pre-training where we will feed in the long sequences like of huge book or huge text data that we have got from the internet. We will push it to our training data set so that it can learn the pattern with that huge data set that we have got. And then when we ask any question, it is able to generate the answer. That's the beauty of this large language model. Let's take a very quick example. I'll open up a ChatGPT application, and let's try to interact with this ChatGPT. And let's also use this ChatGPT to learn some of the other aspects which are relevant for our examination. See, this is a ChatGPT, and as I mentioned, this is a generative AI application. Now, here, what I'll do is I'll provide an input. So this time I'll provide the input as what is generative AI. Now, this input that I'm sending in for this ChatGPT, we call this input as a prompt. Okay, the technical term that is used is called as prompt, which is nothing but the input that we provide for our large language model. We provide prompt as an input, and using this input, the large language model is going to generate the response. So by providing the prompt in a required manner, we can actually control how does the output would look like. Like for example, previously I mentioned as what is generative AI. Now I'll say what is okay. It looks like the chat GPT is not responding. Okay, I've opened in web browser and will mention the same. So this time I'm going to say, what is Gen AI? Explain in few words. Now, when I mention the input as what is generative AI and explain in few words, now this time it has explained the definition of the generative AI in few words. That means this input or the prompt that I provide, that's the one that is going to decide as how does the output from this large language model would be. Okay, that is the overall idea about this large language model or this generative AI application that we have got. So to quickly recap, we have understood what is generative AI, the applications of generative AI, and you have looked into the high level idea about this transformer model architecture. and the components of this transformer model architecture. And we just picked up the generative AI application and provided a single input, a test input, and we got the response. Okay, so that's the learning journey that we had so far. Now I'll take a pause here. So any questions so far, guys, please let me know. If you're clear from the explanation and the learning that we had so far, please confirm by typing in as all good. Okay, thank you, Darshan. Thank you, Faraz. Okay, thank you, Ansari. Thank you, Josie. Thank you, Payal. Thank you, Darshan. Okay, thank you, team, for your confirmation. So now that you have understood about this, okay, there's one more concept which I would highly recommend for your examination preparation, that is the knowledge of prompt engineering. So what is prompt engineering? Let's generate the text with the help of this chat GPT itself, and let's read out from there that will enhance our learning. So when I say prompt engineering, so prompt engineering is basically the process of designing and refining our input prompts so that we can effectively communicate to our AI model. So you have already seen with the practical itself, like when I modified my input, it also modified the output from this large language model. So in order to design and refine the prompts in an effective manner, so like this concept of designing and specifying the prompts in an effective manner, that's what we call it as the prompt engineering. So the reason is this is the using the prompt itself, we can control the output of this generative AI model. Now that is the definition of this prompt engineering. Now, when we talk about this prompt engineering, there are various techniques that are involved inside this prompt engineering. So let's look into the what are the techniques of prompt engineering. So when we talk about the techniques of prompt engineering, so these are the general methods that we follow in order to generate the effective prompt and get the output from the large language model. So when we are specifying the prompt, so these are the various methods that we can utilize and various rules that we generally follow while while generation of the prompt. First one is clarity and specificity. It's always recommended that we create a large language model. Uh, we create the prompt which is clear and which has got a specific one, like with specific instruction in order to guide the AI model in an effective manner. And it's also important that you specify the context. It's important that you specify the context as how does the prompt is going to work better. I mean, like how does the output should be generated. And obviously, based on the output that we would get, we'll generally perform the iteration. So we'll perform the iterative refinement based on the output that we would get. Then, in some cases, we'll also assign a role. So by assigning the role, that will provide the generative AI model a clear instruction as how should its output would look like. And we also have the multi-turn prompt. So it means we'll break down the complex queries into series of simpler and sequential prompts. That's called as the multi-turn prompt. And we also have constraints and guideline questions and prompts and avoiding the ambiguity. So these are the general principles that we follow whenever we are sending in the prompt for our generative AI model. Okay, so that's the overall idea and the basic concept behind this prompt engineering. So what you have learned so far as of now, okay, you have learned about the basic definition of this generative AI, its background, and key things that you need to know about the applications, and you have also mastered the techniques of this prompt engineering. Okay, so it says like you can think about it as a essential of prompt engineering as what we have like what I can say at a very high level. So folks, are you feeling confident now about these topics? So tell me how you feel about this topics with the learning that you just had. Are you finding it easy, or how are you finding it, guys? So let me know in the chat window about these topics right now. So I think prior to it, it was all you. Now it's like now that I have introduced to it. So what do you feel like? Are you feeling confident about these topics, or how do you feel? Okay. So Josie says easy. Uh, Carrie says it's very much easy, very simpler. Okay. Uh, Patel says it's easy, sir. Okay. So I see some of you are saying like, okay, there is Vipul says as it's you made it very simple. Okay, thank you, Vipul. That's amazing. That's good to know, guys. That's very good to know that you are able to follow along. Okay, thank you, guys. Okay, uh, thank you, Som. Okay, thank you, Diksha. Perfect, guys. Okay, thank you, team, for your confirmation. Okay, now let's proceed ahead and let's take a look into this overall learning path. See, apart from that, uh, I'll give you a very quick introduction about one of the important service that we have got in AWS, especially from the generative AI standpoint, that's called as Bedrock. So let's have a look into this introduction to this AWS Bedrock. Now, when I say AWS Bedrock, it's one of the service that we have got in AWS, which we can use it to easily build and scale the generative AI application with the help of foundation models. Now, the question is, what is a foundation model? Well, the foundation model is a model where a pre-training has been already completed. We've already described what is pre-training. It's nothing but it's performing the training on a huge data set so that we will learn the pattern. That's what we call it as the pre-training. So it's like whatever the pre-training model that we have got, we call it as a foundation model. So we use this Amazon Bedrock to quickly get that already trained model and perform the scaling so that we can go ahead and build the generative AI models around it. So that's the best aspect about this Amazon Bedrock. So what it says, it's a fully managed service. So what it means by a fully managed service, so you don't have to worry about its server, you don't have to worry about how everything will be given. You can, excuse me, you can just go ahead and start loading the model and start building the model. Depending on our use case, depending on our usage, we'll be getting the bill from AWS. Now, the best part is this Bedrock provides the access to some of the key and famous models, such as famous models from Anthropic, Cohere, Meta, Mistral AI, Stability AI, and Amazon, all with the help of a single API. And along with that, you can also make use of the complex techniques such as the building the agent, fine tuning, RAG, which is known as the retrieval augmented generation technique. You can make use of all these services and build the chatbot. And since this is a serverless, that means we don't have to control the server. So we don't have to manage any infrastructure, underlying infrastructure. Everything will be managed by the AWS itself. You can securely integrate and deploy your generative AI application with the matter of few clicks and with little amount of code, like if it is absolutely necessary. Okay, so they have actually provided some of the good resources over here. I will say this is the best way to learn more about what exactly is this Amazon Bedrock. Now, for your getting started in the learning journey, you can also go ahead and look into the other aspects as well. Like when I say other aspect, there's one more topic which is highly recommended over here that's called as Amazon Q Business. So let's try to understand the same Amazon Q Business. Now, when I say Amazon Q Business, this Amazon Q Business is one of the service. It clearly says, if you look into the tagline, it says that unleash the power of generative AI in workplace with Amazon Q Business. It's a generative AI powered assistant that can answer the question, provide the summaries, generate the content, and securely complete the task based on the data and the information that has been provided. Okay, so this is the idea about this Amazon Q business. All right, guys. Now, what we have studied so far is we have looked into the some of the key aspects of the certification preparation. So, like one thing that I normally see with the learners is, especially when they're starting the certification preparation journey, because of the topics that is listed in the overall curriculum and the table of content from the documentation, it makes actually overwhelming to the learners and sometimes lose the confidence during the certificate preparation. So the recommendation that I would provide is follow the structured learning path just like we did in the learning session today. So by following the learning path, you can actually gain the advantage of having the confidence throughout your certification preparation and also have even more confidence to appear for the examination and also crack the examination at the first attempt by providing your best effort possible, because this certificate examination is a foundation level. So with the by following the structured approach, you can easily clear this certificate examination. All right, guys. Now, uh, like as I mentioned, so uh, like I'm sure you will be feeling that okay, you want more, and like you want to know the overall structured learning path and understand as how it actually look like. So I can show you the structured learning path as well, guys. So let me just provide you the overall structured learning path as what you have to follow. So this is one of the like self-paced courses that I'm creating with Manifold AI Learning. So this is one of the paid course. So if you allow me, I'll share you that table of contents as well, and I'll show you as how should your structured learning path would look like. So can I share that table of contents for you folks so that you can understand how should your structured learning journey should look like? So if you want to see the table of content, please let me know in the chat window as yes, I'll share you the table of content. Okay, Rakshita, Ramesh, Prithvi, okay, Diksha, Suraj. Okay, thank you, team, for your confirmation. I'll just show you the table of content. Anthony, okay, let me just share you how should your learning journey would look like. So, like the preparation of the learning journey should be should consist of the important sections such as the fundamental concepts of machine learning, which involves around the terminologies and the ways in which we evaluate the machine learning models and the deep learning models. And along with that, some high level idea about the SageMaker. Okay. Then it's also important that you understand the basic idea behind this deep learning. So here, when we talk about deep learning, it's about understanding the aspects about, okay, what exactly is this deep learning, the types of neural networks that we have got, the intuition behind the deep learning, the activation function, the key things, the key structures that would make up our neural network. That is something that you have to focus on. Then the fundamental aspects of generative AI. And not just that, since it's a AWS related certification, it is also recommended that you also refer to the important aspect as how AWS can help you. Okay, how AWS can help you in your generative AI journey. That is by implementing this generative AI in the AWS environment. Okay, so that is something that you need to remember. And apart from that, okay, so apart from that, so it's also important that you learn some of the basics of natural language processing, which involves the text pre-processing and working with the data. And then it's also essential that you look into the key aspects about the prompt engineering and how you can build a generative AI application, the concept behind this Amazon Bedrock, and how do you work with Amazon Bedrock. And lastly, one of the important point, especially from the examination, it would be definitely the knowledge of this responsible AI. Okay, so this is how your learning journey would look like, should look like if you're preparing for your learning journey, guys. Now, as I mentioned at the start itself. So this is one of the course that I've got the opportunity to work with Manifold AI Learning. So let me just bring up the course page so that you can get to know more about the same. So yeah, if you just go to the manifoldairlearning.in, so this is one of the self-paced course that we have got at Manifold AI Learning. I'm just sharing you the link over here for your reference, guys. Now, this is the course which is in pre-release currently. We are working on the section 1, and as and when we get the latest updates from AWS, these sections will definitely be updated as per the latest pattern provided by the AWS. Now, currently, like for the learners who have like the original price is what you see here on the screen, INR, and depending on your location, you'll also be able to see the price on your currency as well. If you're outside India, you'll be seeing the currency in price in the US dollars as well. So this is the original price. I mean, this is the original price after the discount in general days. Now, for the learners who have joined with us on the webinar today, there's a special coupon code that has been activated that's called as webinar. Now, using this coupon code, you would automatically get 10% off on the price that you see on your website, on your end, guys. So this coupon code will be valid until the time that I'm here in the webinar. Now, this is the time for you to grab this opportunity to get this course at the best price so that you can get started with the learning journey and work with it in an efficient manner. Because most learners struggle with not having the structured learning approach. Now, with this structured learning approach, so we have been able to help thousands of learners in the certification journey with our other existing courses on other AWS certification as well as NVIDIA certification. And we want we want to repeat the same with this course as well, that is to help as much maximum learners as possible so that they'll be able to get the confidence, get themselves certified in this one of the most, I'll say, in demand certification that we have got from AWS, that is AWS Certified AI Practitioner course that we have got. Now, as and when we release the practice test, so we'll be letting you know. So we have not released the practice test yet because once we get more feedback from once the beta session is over, that's when we'll also be like sharing the separate practice test at a later point, guys. Okay. Now, let me just share some of the feedback that we have got from the learners from our other courses. So let me just bring up the screen. So here, like from Manifold AI Learning, so we are, as I mentioned, we are available on various platforms as well. And if I just want to bring up our track record, so we are in our marketplaces such as Udemy too. So we've got more than 37,000 learners in Udemy platform itself. Now all our courses are more than 4.5 plus. We have got some amazing courses that we have got with Udemy. You can check out our course to know more about our course quality and the way in which that we would teach the quality of the program. And folks, and let me also tell you one more thing. For the learner who are already part of our generative AI package from our website, so you don't have to purchase separately. So this is for the learners who are already part of our generative AI program. So you'll be getting the access to the course as well as the practice test for free. So you don't have to make a separate payment for the learners who are already part of this generative AI package. So this is the additional one that we have got. So let me just remind you guys. So you are getting the 10% off only for the learners who have joined in this webinar session. I'm just sharing you the link here in the chat window. So this is for our AWS Certified AI Practitioner course. This will help you to prepare yourself in a structured manner and clear your certification in the first attempt. Okay, so this is the first thing. Let me just first share you the link. And this coupon code of webinar is valid for next 12 minutes only until the time that I'm in the webinar. Okay. And then I'll come to the other generative AI package, the question that I had got earlier. 1 second, team. Yeah. So now that this is clear, Okay. So now that this is clear, so let me just take you through the another aspect as well. So for the learners who are already part, okay, for the learners who are already part of our generative AI, like mastering the generative AI. So like the for the learners who are already done with, like who are already part of this mastering the generative AI in 2024, you'll be getting the course access as part of this package. Okay, so Sriram, yeah, like if you're already a part of the generative AI package, so I can see that you have already made the payment. Thank you, Sriram. But I would request you to write to the support team if you're already part of this package. Okay, you know, just you can request for the refund because that is provided for free for you. Like since you are already part of this generative AI package. Okay. So, like for the learners who are like, let me just, this is another aspect, guys. So, for the learners who are part of this Mastering the Generative AI package from Manifold AI Learning, it doesn't matter when you have bought or what is the price you have paid at that time, you will be getting the access to the Generative AI course that we have got, that is AWS Certified Generative AI course that we have got. Along with that, any other courses that we'll be launching, you will be getting the access to those courses for free without any additional payment. Now, this is the price that you see right here on the screen. Okay. Uh, okay. Okay. So this is the core. This is the link for accessing the generative AI package. Oh, okay, okay. I'm sorry, Sriram. So I thought you were referring to this Gen AI, this package. So it's a different Gen AI package. Okay. My apologies for the confusion. All right, guys. So if anyone has any other questions, please feel free to let me know, team. Okay. So I see that Sheikh Ali has raised the hand. Hi, Sheikh. I have
Hello.
tried to unmute you. Please let me know your query.
Yeah. Hi, sir. This is Sheikh Shabazari. Thanks
Mhm.
for this opportunity for giving to ask the question. Basically, just I came across that website, and you're telling that 599 if we pay to the course, we will be getting access to mastering also, or is it we have to pay 6,000 for this?
No, okay. So 599 is for this individual course. So on this 599, you'll get the 10% off. So I think this would come around 539 rupees. You'll get the access to this individual course. Now, the generative AI package, the second link that I've shared, if you purchase this package, you will get not just this course, but also the other courses that are part of this package. Like to give you an example, this package contains the other courses such as NVIDIA certification, the Python programming for DevOps, MLOps engineer, which has got more than 18 hours of content, the Python for data science course, the generative AI course that we have at Manifold AI Learning, prompt engineering with LLM ops course, the AWS machine learning specialty certification, the deep learning course, linear algebra, statistics, calculus, the practice test for NVIDIA. And there are two other courses which we are planning to launch. So generative AI interview guidance, I think this is not yet started. But yeah, this course and LLM ops course, including the AWS certified practitioner course and the practice test. Like if you buy this mastering generative AI, you'll be getting the access of whatever the courses that I have shown just now, along with the new launches that would happen. Like for example, the AWS certification that I've showed, right? This one. And once this is done, like if you launch any other certification under this generative AI, you'll be getting that access for free. Like you'll be getting that upgrade for free, even if the price gets updated in future. So it will not affect you because you will be logged in for this price and you'll have a lifetime access. Okay. Okay. I think for some reason it got dropped. Okay. Any other question, team? Okay. Okay. Thank you, Sheikh. Okay. Munir. Okay. So Munir, you are already a learner of this manifold AI learning Gen AI package. So that means you don't have to buy the course separately. You'll get the access for free. Okay, okay, I got it. So Sriram, okay, got it. So you're already student of NVIDIA certification for generative AI. Okay, so then, okay, uh, all right, got it. So then you can do one thing, Sriram. I think if you're interested in buying the package, I think since you have already registered for the earlier courses as well, you can drop an email to the Manifold AI Learning separately in case if you're interested in buying the package, if you're looking for the additional discount. This is for the learners who have bought multiple courses. All right, guys. Any other questions, team? And thank you, Sriram. Okay, for registering for this course. And thank you, Lakshman. I see other confirmations that are coming in right now that I see here from the report. So uh, thank you, Lakshmikant. Thank you, Dheeraj. And it's the same, Munir. There's no difference. There's no difference. Both are same. I think inside the portal when you log in, so some learners will see that name. It's the same. Oh, is it? Okay, let's check. You can drop an email to the support team. They'll be assigning the same. Okay. All right. So any other questions, team? Okay, thank you. Uh, okay, let me just give me 1 second, Krishna. Let me just check in the back end. I'm just checking with the accounts team. Okay, that's correct, Krishna. We have received the confirmation. So welcome to this AWS certification course. Okay, thank you, Narayan. Thank you for registering, Narayan. I welcome you for this program. Okay, any other questions, team? So as I mentioned, this coupon code of webinar will be available only for the next 4 minutes. Now, once I close the webinar, so this coupon code will become inactive. So ensure that you make the most of this coupon code while we are in the call. Okay. Now, all right. So one of the question that I see here is Akshay says that does it cover everything? Okay. Yeah, that's correct, Akshay. So whatever that is required as per the examination expectation. So which means from the examination standpoint, the like everything that a learner needs to know is covered as part of your learning journey. So most of the learners, what we have seen is like if we take a look into the just the TOC, like if you just look into the topics, so by if we simply follow the documentation or that documentation guide, learners will not be able to understand the topics in a structured manner. So what you will be learning in this overall learning journey is like you'll be learning in a structured manner that would actually help you to prepare and also understand the concepts in a sequential way. So that has helped multiple learners in gaining the confidence in the examination. So you can be confident that your certification journey will be a sequential way so that you will have the correct way of preparation. Okay. Preetham says that is a good one because it helped me to save that time. Yeah, that's correct, Preetham. So that would definitely help the every learner to save the time. Okay. Any other questions, team? Okay, I see Sudhiksha has purchase the Manifold AI Learning package. So congratulations, Sudiksha. Thank you so much for joining in, and I welcome you for this Manifold AI Learning Generative AI package. So you might have already received the welcome email from the team. So you can just follow the structured learning path that is there for you to learn in a sequential way. Okay, so give me 1 second, uh, Samira. Okay, uh, so that's correct, Samira. Okay, congratulations, Samira. Yes, we can see your confirmation on this generative AI package. Yes, anything, any course that gets launched in the future, you'll have the access to that courses as well if it's part of this generative AI package. All right, guys. Any other questions, team? So, folks, like when we talk about the generative AI, so as you know, it's it's not a straightforward thing, and it requires a sequential learning journey. So you can continue to attend our the webinars, and you can continue with the state that you're currently in, or you can take this learning challenge and proceed ahead in the learning journey, follow the sequential approach, and gain more confidence as you uh, as you look into the overall world right now. Because as we see, most of the innovations that we have got are happening around the generative AI. So I can say now is the right time for you to follow the structured learning path and get the most of this overall generative wave that we see these days. Okay, I wish you all the very best, guys. So if anyone is trying to make the payment, let me know. I can wait for 2 more minutes. So, and for the learners who have joined with us and who are with me so far, like who are with me till here so far. So thank you again, guys, for staying here and asking some of the amazing questions. So I look forward to seeing you on our next session. We have a new webinar tomorrow. So the topic of tomorrow's webinar is about the large language model itself, but it is specifically to the NVIDIA Generative AI certification. So I look forward to seeing you there on that new webinar as well. I'll just share you the link. You can just register yourself, or also you can wait for an email from us. You'll get an email notification too. I've shared you the link here in the chat window. So please register yourself, and I'll see you tomorrow, same time, the tomorrow session, guys. And thank you again for staying with me till the end, and I'll see you next time. Sure, Shriram, definitely. Please drop an email and they'll be able to help you. Okay, thank you so much, guys, for joining in. And I hope to see you next time, everyone. So take care and do check out our free course on Manifold AI Learning, which is Unlock Your Generative AI Fundamentals, that would help you to start your learning journey in generative AI. And there's also webinar, like the sessions recording is made available in our Manifold AI Learning portal. So thank you, Carlos. Thank you, Josie. Thank you, guys, and it was wonderful to connect with each and every one of you. I'll see you next time. Take care.